Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Creative Café. This is a taster session to show you what it's like in my weekly live and interactive English lessons. And Creative Café is all about learning creative writing techniques and generating ideas for some really interesting creative writing at home. So, in this session, we're going to be covering fruit fiction, which means we're going to be looking at using fruit to create some really fun fiction narrative. And we're going to be using the method of personification, which you may have come across before. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to personify fruit in a range of ways. That's what we're aiming for. So let's go. Here's our starter. Can you explain what personification is? If you can't, don't worry, I will explain it in a moment. And can you think of 3 different ways to personify something? Which different ways could you try and personify fruit, for example? Now, in these live and interactive lessons, you can share your ideas in the chat, you can jot them down on your piece of paper or your worksheet, or you can just call them out at home. It's entirely up to you. Well done, Elle. Well done, Jack and Millie. Oh, Alex and Nico, that's a good idea too. Ah, excellent. Lola has even given us an example. Okay, well done, Reese. Lots of you are coming up with pretty much the same definition, which is great. Lots of you then have a good idea already of what personification is. So what it is, if you weren't sure, maybe you've had a little look in the chat to see what everybody else is saying. It's the giving of human characteristics to inanimate, which means non-human things. Now, there are 3 main ways to personify something, 3 ways that you can bring that object to life. And that's by writing about their actions in a human way, about their emotions in a human way, and about their appearance in a way that would make them look or appear more human. So on your worksheet, you could jot down those 3 things in the small space that you have to list the 3 different ways of personifying something. Or if you don't have the worksheet printed, you can just jot it down on your piece of paper because we will be coming back to that. So first of all, we're going to look at actions. So giving human actions to inanimate things can help us to visualize what they are doing. We can really see how they're moving and their mannerisms, and we can visualize them in a more human way. So for example, the coffee cup smiled at me. The leaves danced across the forest floor, and chatting away on his phone, the fox appeared distracted. So you can see there I've highlighted them in yellow where I've given human actions to inanimate objects. So really quickly, let's see if you can write a very short sentence about this bell that's on the bottom of the screen. What action could you give that bell to make it seem more human? Off you go. Excellent. Already seeing some great ideas in the chat. So Kaylee had a really good one. Aishu says the bell danced to me. Gideon and Alice, that's a great one. The bell danced, singing. Prisha, the bell was screaming. That certainly is bringing the bell to life. Lots of you talking about the sound that the bell makes, which is really good because you're thinking about the qualities the bell already has and how we can make that or describe that in a human way. So well done if that's something that you've done. Right, now we're going to move on to emotions. So giving human emotions to inanimate things can help us visualize how they're feeling and understand and empathize with how they are feeling. So for example, the coffee cup shook nervously. So nervously is not really, or nervous is not really something that a coffee cup can feel, but writing it in that way, it does bring the coffee cup to life. The leaves cuddled together in fear. Two negative ones there. Let's have a nice fun one. With a sense of pride and achievement, the fox took a bow. So there you have it. Three examples there of using sort of emotions to describe how these inanimate objects might be feeling. So once again, we've got that strange little bell at the bottom of the screen. Let's see if you can write a sentence that shows the bell has emotions. Off you go. Well done, Cushy. Oh, Inea says the bell cried for help. That's interesting because that's an action. It's the verb, isn't it? Crying for help. But it also reflects an emotion. So there is a bit of a crossover sometimes. Lovely. Amy says the bell rang out shakily in fright. Lovely, Amy. Well done. Well done, Myra and Reva. Well done, Nerdlek. Oh, Ruben and Kai say that the bell felt anxious as it tried to ring in front of so many people. So tried to swing in front of so many people. That's a lovely one. Well done, Ruben and Kai. Okay, so we're going to move on now just to talk about appearance. Now this one is quite different from talking about the actions and emotions of an inanimate object. Those two cross over quite frequently. Appearance is quite different. So when we give human appearance, usually with clothing or accessories or behaviours, that's where we get the crossover into actions, to inanimate things, it can help us visualise how they look. For example, the coffee cup wore a smooth white jacket. The leaves wore hazelnut handbags. And the fox reached into his pocket for his keys. So it's those accessories that we can attribute, or clothing that we can attribute to an inanimate object that can help us imagine them as a more human or personified object. Now I am going to ask you to do it for the bell. I can see some of you have already started typing your ideas. Remember that thinking about the qualities the bell already has and developing on that is what makes for really good personification. So you might be thinking, what does the bell look like? Could I use that to describe the clothing it might be wearing? Oh, Emmy, that's lovely. The bell wore a shiny coat. Ruben and Kai, Myra and Reva, all of you are coming up with some great ideas about spectacular, shimmering coats. Maisie and Flora, fab. I really like that. The bell shone in his golden jacket. I would like a golden jacket. Ah, lovely. Catherine says the bell was wearing a shimmering medal. That's a lovely idea as well. You're drawing from the qualities that the bell already has, that sort of gold metal, thinking about a medal. Really lovely idea there. Well done. Well done, Amanda. Well done, Kanishk. Well done, Gideon and Alice. Okay, I think it's time now that we moved on and really tried to pencil our own really high quality personification. So challenge 1 this evening is going to be personifying a watermelon or a slice of watermelon. Now I'd like you to try and incorporate actions, emotions and appearance in your description, but if it's a bit tricky for you, you might like to pick one thing and focus on that. Now I'm going to show you it modelled. This is what I came up with. Now, if you've printed your worksheet or if you've got it on a screen nearby, then you can see it there as well. But if not, it is on the screen for you. So, the watermelon, who was dressed in a green leather jacket over a coral-coloured billowy blouse, wept uncontrollably as she gathered up all the black gemstones she had dropped all over the jeweller's floor. Now, looking at that, can you see where I've described what the watermelon looks like? So its appearance, its actions, and also its emotions. So I tried to incorporate all 3 in this description. I wonder if you can find them. Well, it's over to you now. Let's see what you come up with. Azrael, that's a really, really good one. The bell wore his golden tutu and leotard proudly, showing off his edges and curves.
Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life is chasing it. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
Some really lovely examples in the chat. So if you are finding this a little bit tricky, pop over into the chat, have a look at what everybody else is saying. Now, if you are somebody who isn't participating live and you're watching the video replay, feel free to share all of your ideas in the comments underneath the video, and I do come back and have a look at those comments and respond to them, and it's a way for those that are not participating live to still have some sort of dialogue with other learners and with me. Well, I have to read this one out. This is brilliant. Gideon and Alice said, the watermelon's many, many small eyes, like that, watched the darkness that hung like it was made of superglue, past the green armour which protected the skin beneath. Though clueless about it, there was life beyond. Very deep, but very thoughtful and very clever, because you've described that watermelon, the green armour. I really like that. Very good. Excellent, Anea. Some really nice personification there. Oh, Colin and Juliet say the watermelon who wore a green striped shirt started bleeding crimson juice. Really thoughtful, clever ideas are starting to come out now. So you can see how personification, if we think very carefully about how we're using it, we can write really clever, intelligent descriptions. Okay, right, there are so many fantastic ideas. I think it's only fair that we pop over into the breakout rooms so you can read out what you've got to the other people in your breakout room and listen to theirs as well. Now, you don't have to go to the breakout rooms, it's entirely up to you. There'll be 3 or 4 people in each room. And it really is a great chance, though, to listen to other people from all over the UK, all over the world, same age as you, reading out their ideas too. So, the rooms are now open. You can click on the invitation that pops up on the screen, make your way in, and I'll invite you back in just under 2 minutes. Or you can stay in the main room. Up to you.
gotta run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, run, but I can't stop running because you're not running with me. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life won't chase it with you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're gonna have to do it all by yourself.
So we're just waiting for everyone to come back from their breakout rooms. They'll be back in just a moment, and then we will move on to our next piece of fruit. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back from your breakout rooms. I hope that you found them a useful experience to hear other people's brilliant ideas, share your own idea, and maybe you learned something. So I have to read Myra and Reva's idea out that's in the chat box. They say, proudly the watermelon unzipped his emerald green coat. I love that. Simple, effective, thoughtful, clever, a really nice, simple, but very good example of personification. So well done. Right, so we're going to move on now to challenge 2, which is banana. So can you personify a banana? The challenge is to try and use actions, emotions and appearance in your writing, but you might like to just pick 1 or 2, and you can always spend more time on these after the class. So I'm going to show you my model dancer, which is on your sheets too. The banana, whilst laughing hysterically about the predicament he had found himself in, reached into the left-hand pocket of his yellow pantaloons and pulled out his mobile phone to check his e-ticket. It was bonkers. I'm not sure what I was thinking when I wrote it, but there's tons of great personification going on in there. So see if you can look at that and spot where I've used actions, emotions and appearance. Now, it's over to you. I'd like to see what you come up with. Off you go. Lots of you are talking about the banana being in pain or being sad, and I wonder if that's because we think of the peeling of the skin. But some clever ideas. Well done. Keep going.
But I can't stop running because you're not running with me. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life will chase it with you.
So I especially like what Reese has done. Reese says the banana peeled off his yellow coat and danced across the room. So using that verb peeled just talks about, I mean, we often say we peel our jackets off, but that verb is what's used to talk about an actual banana. So it's really cleverly used there to personify it. So really nice one, Reese. Well done. Sometimes it's the simplest things that can really transform your personification from being very basic, so the banana waved, to really being clever about what it is you're writing. Prisha, that's great. Okay, right, this is absolutely brilliant. What I'm going to do is give you another quick opportunity to pop over into the breakout rooms to share your ideas. You'll have a minute and a half. I'm going to recreate the rooms so there are different people to last time. If your breakout room goes a bit quiet, just ask, where are you all from? And so you can get the conversation started to share your ideas. Okay, the rooms are now open, and everybody will be back in the main room in about a minute and a half. Well done, Hannah and Nosheen, on your examples in the chat. They're really good. And Elle, it's really nice of you to have noticed the excellent alliteration that Nosheen used. So well done to all of you. Okay, everyone's just making their way back into the main room. Okay, right, you're all back. Welcome back. I hope you had another great breakout room, and maybe you heard a really, really good one. If you can remember the name of that person, just let me know in the chat and I'll give them a big thumbs up for their efforts. Let's see. Alex and Nico say, the banana screamed in agony as his skin was torn savagely off. Woo! Yeah, I love it. Brilliant. Daniel says Cushy was really good. Colin and Juliet says Kanishk was really good. Let's see. Yeah, lovely. Well done to you guys. Okay, so as this is a taster session, just to let you know that if you are watching this live, you will get a video replay link after the class. So if there's anything that you want to do again or listen to again, or you're not quite sure, you can go back and watch any part of the class for 2 weeks. And if you are watching this by playback, you have the added bonus that you can pause at any time and give yourself a little extra time on any of the tasks. So we're going to move on to the final challenge now, or the final of the 3 challenges, strawberry. So can you personify a strawberry? Again, I'm looking for all 3 ways of personifying, and I'm going to show you my example. So, straightening her green crown, the strawberry blushed bright crimson with embarrassment. She shook the yellow confetti from her face and shoulders and smiled politely before quickly exiting the stage. So, let's see what you can come up with. Off you go. We are going to run over by just a few minutes this evening because I started a little bit late with those technical problems. I hope that's okay. Maisie and Flora say the strawberry had unbearable itchiness because it had chickenpox. I love it. Very clever what you've done there, ladies. Aishu, that's so thoughtful. The strawberry removed her green hat at the funeral and wept remorselessly. Nice use of that adverb on the end as well. Very good. So we've got the strawberry blushed bright red when the bee kissed it on the nose. Yawning loudly, the tired strawberry sat up in his bed. The strawberry gracefully spun around the stage in her green tutu. I love it. Well done. Very, very good. The strawberry took her seeds. Oh gosh, they're all going so fast now through the chat that I'm losing track. Okay, right. Well, I would normally give you another chance to go into the breakout rooms, but I do appreciate that we've run over a little bit so far. So I'm going to skip the next breakout room and go straight to the final challenge. So can you write about an interaction between these two shoes? So at the end of every class, we have what I call the final challenge. It's just something fun that we really quickly try and generate an idea or two based on what we've learned or practiced during the class. So what can you come up with? Daniel, no, they're not tap dancing shoes, but I don't mind if you want to assume they are. I would call them smart leather men's shoes, maybe office shoes. Aeneas says the graceful shoes kissed the charming gentleman. The ballet shoes said, don't stick your tongue out at me. I like that. Clever. Colin and Juliet thinking about shoes have a tongue, and that in itself can in some ways personify shoes. So good, clever. The point shoes carefully tiptoed towards the leather shoes and tripped over, feeling very ashamed. They got back up and carefully walked back over. Well done, Kaylee. I like it. Well done, Cushy. Twirled. That's a lovely verb to use for those ballet shoes. Okay, excellent. Well done. Now, if you like any of the challenges that we've worked on in the class this evening, then you can spend as long as you like afterwards doing some creative writing. And I'm always really delighted and excited to receive your work. So you can get your adult to email it over to me. I'd love to read it. I'm going to finish with Luke's one, which is lovely. The shoes, soles touched. Beautiful and clever, Luke. Well done. The soles of the shoes, but also their soles that they touched. Fabulous. Really, really nice. So we have a take-home task that you can do as a follow-up from what we have covered today. So personification, as you have found, is so much more than just a simple example of a human characteristic. When it's used cleverly and intelligently with detail, it can be an inventive and amusing writing technique, and you can apply it throughout your writing, throughout your creative writing. So the take-home task is to have it go at writing a story about the secret life of fruit. Would love to see what you come up with. So that brings us to the end of my Creative Cafe and this taster session. Creative Cafe begins again. It resumes on Saturday of next week, so in just over a week. And if you've enjoyed it this evening, you can sign up for a 5-week class pass. It's normally on a Saturday morning, but as I say, you do get a video recording, so you can do the class at any time. And if you tell your parents to put in the code HOLLY5, they'll get an extra £5 off, which is great. So well done for your efforts, your brilliant ideas. You've made me smile, you've made me laugh. I hope you've enjoyed the experience, and I really do hope to see you in a class soon.